Welcome to the BrandWhys podcast, where we talk about the big branding moves that business owners are making and the why behind it. I'm your host, Jess Freeman, here to help you be wise and be bold. Welcome back to another episode of BrandWhys. Before we dive in and start talking about referrals, I wanted to let you know something. This is going to be the last episode of the BrandWhys podcast, which is surprising to me as it may be to you as well. um, BrandWhys will not be going anywhere. I will leave this podcast up so you can still listen to it. But if you follow me on Instagram or Threads or really anything, you've probably seen me talk about the Ordinary Business Summit. And the Ordinary Business, trademark, is going to have a podcast. And being an ordinary business owner means I do not have the bandwidth to run two different podcasts. And so I have made the hard decision to kind of pause indefinitely the BrandWhys podcast and start the Ordinary Business podcast. The Ordinary Business podcast is coming out in October. So you can't go subscribe to it yet, but you can go follow The Ordinary Business on Instagram to know when the new podcast comes out. So that's my little announcement. But let's dive in, move on to talking about referrals. A lot of service-based businesses run on referrals. And it's easy because, we do good work, clients love you, and then the recommendations just keep coming. But at some point, that referral only pipeline, or even if it's not like the only way you get clients, maybe it's the majority of the way that you get clients, it can start to feel risky because what if it dries up? What if you want to grow without being glued to your inbox or making more connections and like building this referral system? And that's where SEO comes in. Not to replace referrals. I'm not against referrals. I get a lot of referrals, but to amplify them. So in this episode, we're going to talk about how SEO and referrals can work together to bring you sustainable, scalable growth. Now, in the online space, you know that for many, referrals are like the holy grail. There are a lot of people who rely on them very heavily. And part of that is because they come with some level of built-in trust because people show up kind of pre-sold. They don't cost you ad money because, again, it's coming directly from somebody. You don't have to convince them that you are legit. You can skip past some of the awkward conversation, awkward discovery call, and they already believe in you because someone else that they trust told them about it. So yes, referrals are amazing, and they are completely out of your control. You can't force them. You can't predict when they will come in, and you can't scale them past the capacity of the people referring you. Like, unless you are just connecting with 1,000,000 people every year and you have this massive referral audience, you're basically waiting on other people to market your business. So if you want to grow on purpose and not just hope someone thinks of you at brunch or in the middle of a Facebook group, you need a more proactive strategy with your referrals. And I do hear a lot of people who say something like, oh, well, I don't need SEO or to run ads or whatever because I get all my clients through word of mouth. I mean, I've even heard people say, I don't need a website. I get all my people from word of mouth. But I mean, that's cool until your referral stream slows down. Like when someone who refers you a lot, and then they go on maternity leave. Or a former client who sent you a lot of clients shifts careers, goes back to corporate. Or, a global pandemic wipes out your entire network. Suddenly, that business that relies heavily on referrals can feel a lot less solid. And like I said, in my opinion, SEO doesn't compete with referrals, it helps support them. Because sometimes referrals look like someone hearing about you from a past client. They Google you, Google your name. Maybe they're trying to look up to see if there's any Reddit threads about you, any reviews, looking up Google reviews. And so they're Googling and your website comes up, or it doesn't. And that is where SEO comes in to help support those referrals when people hear about you and want to look you up. And obviously, even outside of referrals, you have to think about the people who haven't even heard of you yet. They're Googling their problem, they're ready to hire someone, they're not scrolling Instagram or going to Facebook groups to ask for recommendations. They are actively searching on Google. SEO helps you catch those people while still supporting, your little referral pipeline over here. Because more visibility equals more trust, and more trust equals more conversions. But unfortunately, a lot of health professionals have outdated websites from 2018, no clear service pages, or they're very outdated, no content that answers questions that potential clients are actually asking, and zero or very little Google presence to show up in front of those people when people are Googling. And then those same health professionals are wondering why leads aren't converting. So I want you to remember that if someone refers you and your website's a mess, or worse, they can't even find your website, you're losing leads before they ever reach out. People are getting frustrated. They don't have the patience. They're like, I don't know, I tried to find Amy's Kitchen or, and blah, 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 nutrition counseling, zero, whatever, fitness training. They're they're finding somebody else if they can't find you. So I would challenge you to take 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, like 2 minutes today, and Google yourself. What comes up? And is it helping or hurting your chances of landing that next client? And depending on your business name or location, I would even try Googling your full name and also then try Googling just your business name because we don't know always how people are referring us necessarily. Are they saying oh, you should talk to Jess Freeman. She does websites. Or are they saying, hey, you should look up Jess Creatives. She does SEO. So and it may be they say, hey, you need to look up Jess from Jess Creatives. We don't know. So looking up both terms is going to be helpful in seeing where you are. And I know you are probably like, great, sure, Jess, but I don't have time for SEO. I get it. You're like me. You're already juggling clients and admin tasks and family life and everything else. But I need you to remember that good SEO doesn't mean that you have to blog every single week or become a full-time marketer. It can start with one solid page that explains what you do and who you help. Depending on your niche and your location, one page might be a game changer for you. That one page can do a lot of heavy lifting for some people. Or maybe you're thinking, I am not techie. I cannot figure out SEO. It's overwhelming. SEO sounds technical. And yet, there is a lot of it that can get pretty techie. But the core of it is simply just being findable and helpful. Google wants to show answers that are clear, that are actually useful. that are trustworthy. And if your site is easy to navigate, it explains what you do and includes words that your clients actually use, you're already ahead of the game. Or maybe you're like a lot of people and, you know, you're thinking SEO is very overwhelming. Like there's 100 million things to do. Again, the techie part of it, like it's overwhelming. And I know, like, and it's totally fair. But like any skill, it becomes less intimidating when you break it down. You don't have to master the entire algorithm or become an SEO expert. You really just need to focus on start cut. You really just need to start showing up online in a way that matches what your ideal clients are already searching for. So, I want to talk again a little bit about how to blend kind of SEO and referrals for more sustainable growth. So, first, we want to optimize your website for those referred leads. So, we want to make it stupid simple to understand what you do, who you help, how to work with you. And surprise, surprise, doing these things makes it optimized for anyone. So, even if you are, just optimizing this, for leads, for referrals, it could still benefit if someone is finding you from Instagram or email or whatever. Then I want you to create content that supports that referral conversation. Think case studies, testimonials, being really detailed about what services you provide and who for and all that kind of information. I also want you to ask for Google reviews. This really, really can help your local SEO and builds a lot of trust when someone Googles your name. Even if you don't work exclusively with local clients, there are probably people local to you that still search for your services. I even have a Google page just in case someone Googles me and it pulls up my Google business profile and I have reviews on there. Now, I don't have as many reviews on my Google profile as I do on my website, but still it shows I'm legit. There's some testimonials on there. And then I want you to also write content around the problems that people are actually searching for. This is not blogging for fun. It's not making a fun dancing reel. You're creating helpful resources that rank, that show you know what you're talking about, that is going to help people and is going to get you in front of more clients. And when you're doing all this, I want you to make sure you're using keywords that match how your clients describe your work. If they are searching like nutrition coach for moms, you want to be saying that on your website. If they are talking about being really tired, you want to be talking about that. You want to be using those words. And yes, Google is smart enough to know if you're using the word fatigue, that, okay, if someone's talking about being tired, it's probably the same thing. But even language like that can help your SEO and can also just help you connect with those ideal clients a little bit better. And when referrals and SEO are working together, people hear about you and find you easier. They land on your site and they feel more confident. So then you get more leads, both from referrals and hopefully organic search. And then you stop having these dry spells, these ups and downs in business, and would start seeing steady qualified traffic that is turning into clients. One client that I worked with just did her SEO, saw her referral close rate increase just because she kind of like worked on some SEO, worked on clarifying things on her website. And part of the reason that this close rate increased is because people could actually find her. And then her site did the heavy lifting for her, as well as the referral. Like it was a little bit of both. So, yes, referrals are gold, but they can also be unpredictable. SEO gives you something you can control, and it's something that compounds, and it's something that works while you're sleeping, parenting, or just living your life. I mean, I've mentioned this a few times in different episodes, but I literally have a blog post from 2017, 2018, I don't know, a long time ago, that is still bringing in leads. 2017. That's bananas. Like, talk about something that works, that compounds. Blogging and SEO is such a good tool and marketing strategy for your business. So I want you to ask yourself, can people find you after they hear about you? Does your website reflect your expertise? And are you building something that can scale? And I also want you to think about, just because maybe when you refer people and you're like, "Oh, you should meet my friend Jess. She does websites." Maybe you send them my Instagram page or my Threads profile or whatever. Just because you may make the decision to refer people, via Instagram, or you just send them their Instagram profile, doesn't mean that everyone else does. There are people out there who are not on Instagram, who don't follow, don't really follow businesses or providers on Instagram. And so just because you do something a certain way doesn't mean others do. And that's why we want to make sure that if it's someone who tends to send people referrals and, hey, here's her website, you want to make sure that, again, they can find you and your website is helping that referral, not making it worse. You don't want your friends to be like, oh, yeah, you should meet Amy. Here's her website. I know it's not great, but I mean, you should, just talk to her. You don't want your friends to have to make that kind of disclaimer. Your work is too good to rely on luck and pure referrals. And again, you don't need to become an SEO nerd. You just need to stop hiding. Are you a squiggle or a square? Go to justcreatives.com/quiz to find out where your brand ends up and find out what a square or squiggle even means. If you enjoyed today's show, be sure to leave a review or share it on Instagram, and tune in next week for another episode.